Good evening, Destiny here, and I want to talk to you guys today about some of the stuff going on with PhantomLord and the CSGO gambling sites and the G2A stuff. I'm trying to do, for my YouTube stuff, I'm trying to act a little bit more professional, so I'm going to refrain from vulgarity and outbursts of anger as much as I can. But holy fucking shit, guys. Wow. I'm not even mad. I'm not really mad at PhantomLord. I'm not really mad at PhantomLord at all. I don't really care about what he does. The thing that really irritates me, honestly, is you guys. And when I say you guys, I'm obviously not talking to my fans who are perfect. I'm talking to the I'm talking to the Twitch community as a whole. For a long time, and by a long time, I mean probably 3 to 4 years, I've been calling out these sponsors as being disgusting sponsors. G2A, for as long as anyone has cared to look into them, has been a shady as fuck site. All right? If you're a 16-year-old and you found a repository of credit cards and you're trying to cash the fuck out, the easiest way to do it is to sell keys on fucking G2A. All right? Like, the whole purpose of this site is to, I don't want to say launder money, but I mean, like, it's for people to sell keys illegally and to make money off of it. Now, obviously, some of the keys that come off the site are probably legit. But I mean, I'll include links below. Like, developer after developer after developer has come out. There was a thread up yesterday with a few indie game developers saying things like they would literally prefer people to torrent their games rather than hand over money to G2A to make money off of their work for them to get screwed over it. I'm not going to go into the pros and cons of G2A. I'm not going to go into how G2A's existence destroys things like local markets or, fucks the pricing over for countries that couldn't afford full price games. Like, I'm not even going to talk about all of that because I don't care about all of that. And for the gambling things, on the gambling side of things, man, how are you going to have a gambling sponsorship in a video game industry? I mean, personal views on gambling aside, which I don't think very highly of, I really don't enjoy gambling. I don't like it, and I don't like it promoted because I think that gambling, the entire existence of gambling is based upon faulty concepts in the human mind, right? The idea that you can go onto a site and win more than you lose, which is statistically improbable, right? But just the fact that that's marketed towards children, right? Which if you're under 21, you're a child. And I know that if you're 19 or 20, you definitely don't want to hear that, but holy fuck, man. And people even under 18, right? How many people are watching the streams these days? There's tons of I know I have fans that are 12, 13, 14 years old. And these sites don't operate legally, right? They exist in some gray, murky area of the internet. I'm sure the age checks are either woefully under are inadequate or non-existent, depending on, do they just ask the age? But I mean, basically the thing that irritates me is there have been some people, but not many. And I've been one of the few people who stood on the sidelines for so long and said, like, hey, these sponsorships are shady. Hey, these sponsorships are garbage. Hey, we probably shouldn't be, embracing these kinds of sponsorships in the industry. Like, it only leads to negativity. Nothing good can possibly come from these sponsorships. But you see these giant teams like Cloud9 and shit jump on the G2A bandwagon, and nobody seems to care. Where is the outcry? But the thing that bothers me isn't the fact that there is no outcry. It's that the outcry comes after some big scandal has exploded or some big thing has been found out. Like, all of the CSGO shit ended up being shady as fuck because it's completely unregulated and exists in a gray part of the internet, and people are getting fucked over as a result of it. Like, no shit. Like, I open my fucking browser and I see this shit and it's like, oh wow, they finally figured it out, right? I'm not trying to say like I'm some great prophet, and sure, I didn't know exactly how deep some of the fucked up shit ran, but I mean, what do you expect when you have a community of people that hold zero accountability to people for picking up shitty sponsors, and then you've got the ability to make tens of or hundreds of thousands of dollars, really, in the case of people like PhantomLord. I'm sure he's even cashed out 7 figures from this shit. I'm not sure at this point. Why is it so surprising that people wouldn't be there when no one is holding them to task or nobody's actually looking into it? Why wouldn't these people try to fuck you over a little bit to make a fuck ton of cash? Like, the irritating part is that now you see the backlash. Now you see people in the communities who are like, oh, like, yeah, these sponsorships are horrible. Like, oh, and now you even get some of these fucking streamers coming out. God, I've read a message by, I love Trump and everything. I loved him when he was StarCraft. I loved him when he was Hearthstone. But now I see Trump writing things on Reddit like, wow, guys, I see this is really important to you. It's really important to me too. And I'm going to look into this and try to convince G2A to not be so bad. And it's like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, obviously you don't give a fuck about it, which most people don't, right? If somebody's going to hand you a paycheck for $5,000 a month, you're not going to ask ask where the money's coming from, right? If you're an unethical piece of shit, which most people are. I mean, let's be real. Most people, when offered some sum of money, will compromise, their morals or their integrity, which is to be expected, right? But that's kind of where you would hope that the community would kind of hold them to answer, right? Like, well, hey, like we like watching your stream and stuff, but dog, you can't have these fucked up sponsorships. Like, that's not cool. Like, why would you do that, dude? Like, G2A hurts the entire industry. Like, why are you going to take sponsorships like that, man? How much are they paying you? Like, that's kind of fucked up, right? We would say that in any other case. If a politician was taking fucked up, bribe money to push some bad piece of legislation through Congress or whatever, we would be like, hey, why are you doing it? Or or if somebody was taking money in an esports event to throw a match, like, hey, why are you doing it? Like, it's not ethical. It's fucked up. But when streamers take money from these fucked up companies and he's doing these fucked up sponsorships, and everybody's like, well, dude, like every time I tweet about this, people are like, well, dude, streaming is hard. You got to make money somehow. Like, well, then get a fucking job, dog. Like, what do you mean streaming is hard? So I have to go to unethical. Like, streaming is hard. Well, if that's like is that your only alternative to work? You have like a family of 4 that's starving in your basement, and the only way you can pay for them is via G2A sponsorship money. Like, in that case, get another job, dude. This sounds really cold coming from me, but I'm really frustrated because I know over the next couple of weeks, all these streamers are going to come out, and all these people who were previously affiliated with gambling sponsors are going to be like, oh, dude, no way, man. This is totally unethical, and this is totally fucked, man. Like, oh yeah, these sponsorships are so bad. Like, I'm not sponsored by them anymore. In the meantime, they're going to be sitting in their fucking cozy ass apartment with a new fucking car where they've already cashed all that money out from those unethical sponsorships. And of course, it's easy after the storm has passed, to be like, oh, well, yeah, obviously those sites are fucked. Man, fuck all the streamers that do that shit. Fuck everybody that hasn't held these people to answer for the fact that they have fucked up sponsorships. And just fuck these companies in general, man. Wow, it's really, really, really disappointing to see so many people running around taking this shit money in this shit industry where everybody knows it's fucked, right? Every gambling sponsorship offer I've ever had has come with strings attached with it, or not strings attached with it, but have come with disclaimers like, you don't have to gamble your own money. We'll give you $5,000 to $15,000 of our money to gamble on the site. Like, all of this fucking crazy ass unethical shit. Offers of equity, offers of partial ownership. Like, I don't know, dude. I hope that the streamers crash and burn, the ones that were involved with it, because, fuck them. But more importantly than the streamers, I wish the community would be a little bit more vigilant in how they evaluate, the sponsors of said streamers. If you have a streamer and you watch them and they have a shady as fuck sponsor, you can't just write that off and be like, well, otherwise he's good. He deserves to cash out a little bit. Like, fuck that shit, dude. If your favorite sponsor's pimping that G2A link in the bottom of their page, man, nobody in the fucking gaming dev industry likes G2A. You'll never find a single person speaking highly of it. Steam doesn't like it. Indie devs don't like it. People that publish the shit independently don't like it. And there's story after story after story of massive amounts of keys being deactivated because they were purchased via fraud, etc., etc., etc. And same thing with the gambling shit, man. We shouldn't be pushing gambling. I hate to make this about my personal opinion, but it's not my personal opinion. We shouldn't be pushing gambling to people that are under 18, under 21. That's super fucked. And the fact that all these people who are doing the gambling aren't even doing it with their own money. They're being paid to gamble on these sites to lure you guys into gambling for it. Like, dude, fuck. This whole event is really frustrating. But not as frustrating as the next few weeks are going to be when everybody starts hopping onto the hate train after the fact and after they've already cashed out. And now you're going to see all of it on Twitter where all these brave fucking streamers are going to come out after the fact talking about how much they hate G2A and how much they hate the gambling sites and how happy they are that the community has told them how important it is so they can finally, step up and act right.